You are watching and listening to Breakfast with Stephen and Ellie.
Yes, good morning to you. Let's go through the papers with broadcaster and podcast host Sean McDonald and writer and columnist Emma Wolfe. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Nice to see you, Emma. Let's kick off with the Sunday Express, should we? Claiming that we just don't have enough doctors.
Yeah, so this is a warning from the chair of the Royal College of GPs, Professor Camilla Hawthorne. She's been saying, yeah, we hear a lot about the A&E crisis, about ambulances stacking up, about all of that. But she's saying we also have a crisis, as if we didn't know, in family GPs and in, family doctors. Basically, GPs cannot cope. She says they're seeing between 40 to 60 people a day. Which may be news to patients who can't get appointments, but that's what she claims. She says our workloads are ever rising, we simply don't have enough people to cope, and that they're understaffed, underfunded, and they have been overstretched for over a decade. This is difficult, though, because we also hear about GPs' huge salaries, lots of them working from home 3 days, 4 days a week, and we also know that you struggle if you ring. Everybody's told to ring at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. You struggle to get an appointment. So what is the truth here? I don't know.
No, I don't know. But then, you see, you've got people like Wes Streeting, the Shadow Health Secretary, looking at reforming GPs and actually looking at wide-ranging reforms that you could not get from a Tory government. There's, because the NHS is too sacrosanct in a way, and so maybe we are in need of some of these pretty big reforms that now Labour is suggesting.
Which Labour, for years they've been saying, the NHS is absolutely the sort of the sacred cow, as you say, and it's really interesting to hear that coming out of Labour. I think Wes Streeting's reforms that he outlined, and then Keir Starmer followed suit a few weeks ago, have been really, really interesting. About, let's talk about waste in the NHS. Let's talk about inefficiency. It's not the envy of the world anymore. The NHS has a problem, and if we're going to just expect people to get free treatment at the point of need, then we're going to have to look at sort of how we do it.
What happened?
It's not working at the moment.
You mentioned that over the last 10 years there's been a constant decline. Was there something that happened, something quite significant, maybe 10, 11, 12 years ago?
Stop it.
Maybe a deliberate underfunding. That's how I see it.
You couldn't pour more... Sean, let's be honest, you couldn't pour more billions into the NHS. It's not a funding problem. The money goes in. Where is it going to? The money, billions we spend. We've increased.
At which point then you'd have to ask if the money's going in, then who's responsible for it? I would say it's the current sitting government. That would be the next question that I would ask. So if if the funding is not the issue, who's managing the funding? Is it deliberate wastage? Is it deliberate inefficiency? I don't know.
I think it's deliberate wastage. But what about the NHS itself? Running, it's being run.
It's so huge. It's a leviathan.
It's a leviathan. It's the biggest employer in Europe. This is not what we need from an NHS. We need to refocus on treating patients.
And spending within the system as well. I mean, some of the managers' salaries for NHS staffs way into the hundreds of thousands.
Diversity officers, media managers, all of that kind of nonsense which has grown up in the NHS, yes, over the last decade. But that is not treating patients. That is not getting people into A&E or, off the kitchen floor if they're having a stroke and they need an ambulance.
Who was it that introduced a menstruation manager who was a man?
Yeah.
It was in Scotland somewhere, wasn't it?
Okay, whether male or female, but we don't need that.
Not aware of that.
No, I mean, stuff like that, you just think, come on.
Sean, should we do something totally different for a minute? Andy Murray's comeback. We've got to talk about that.
Yes.
Because it's incredible, isn't it? Just a few years ago, he was really struggling with an injury.
Written off.
Told he was never going to play again. And we're seeing incredible scenes down under right now, aren't we?
Absolutely amazing. I think he tweeted saying in 2017 a doctor said I would never play again. I think we've dispelled that myth. Now I've got the thing. So in the time, for the combined amount of time that he was playing, 10 hours and 34 minutes, you could fly to Los Angeles from London in that time, or you could watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And
he's got a metal hip. That's what the amazing bit.
And not only that, not only did he play for that length of time, he has put in this unbelievable performance in both. I think it was Australia in 2019. He thought his career was over. I honestly thought he was done. And as a proud Scotsman, we just think...
No. You should have kept the faith.
No, but we really... I love Andy Murray. I think he is the greatest Scottish sportsman of all time. And this is just proving it. And we all love a comeback story, don't we? So he's...
Well, we do.
So what's next for him?
Wouldn't it be amazing if he went on to win something big again?
I honestly think he will, because
I hope he won Wimbledon.
because it's
nation will
not
be-
only having to overcome the sort of physical challenges and barriers, but also the mental barrier that goes along with that, the mental challenge, because I mean, he's competing against some fantastic athletes, and he's proven that he's still up there.
Yeah,
But
he's
he's
not
ancient.
21 anymore. He's getting older as
Positively
well.
ancient.
I mean, perhaps in the context of sport, he might be somewhat getting a wee bit over the hill.
35.
But he's, listen,
I mean,
he's got a lot more in the tank. So
Yeah. Do you think he's surprising himself?
I think so, because when you see, like, so we've got the image here, it's not visible. Obviously, I'm looking at the paper, but the image of complete despondency and dejection, and he's probably thinking, is it? Because, you know, every sportsman and women, they have to come to the end of the line, and that's probably very, very difficult to deal with. And the fact that over the last now 6 years, he's been told by a surgeon, you'll never play again. I bet he can't walk through an airport security scanner without it beeping because of his plate. And all these things will play in his mind, and yet he's just coming and he's proven to himself that he's got a lot more to give.
Yeah, well, good for him. Good for him. Emma, let's have a look at the Sun on Sunday, should we? What's Sainsbury's doing about cake?
Oh, this is funny. Okay, I just want to read out the headline. This is Health and Safety Gone Mad. So apparently Sainsbury's and other retailers are issuing really detailed nanny state warnings on cakes about literally how to take the cake out of the packaging, place it on a flat board, get your knife out, slice carefully into the cake, wipe. Did you know this? Clean the blade between each cut. People are saying, what on earth? So these ludicrously detailed warnings on how to safely cut a cake. Some people were baffled by the need to clean the knife, but Sainsbury's said it's a standard tip for cakes that need slicing. You should always wipe the blade between each slice of cake.
It's a waste of cream.
Waste of cream.
Honestly.
You'd end up, licking it.
And it's all on the outside of the packaging?
It's on the packaging, yeah. And they also include very detailed instructions on their Madeira cake and on all of their Taste the Difference range. So
Really?
people are up in arms because it's, nanny statism. And
The world has gone mad.
The world has gone mad.
Sort of stuff.
But
What?
you must get rid of the packaging before you enjoy your sweet treat.
Oh, must you? Love
Like-
it.
I was going to eat it, packaging and all.
Sure, yeah. Sean, we've just got time for this one, which I was reading about this morning. Buzz Aldrin, who's very famous, on his fourth marriage, I believe.
Fourth, yes.
93 years old.
Yeah, his new wife, I'm going to butcher her name, Dr. Anka For, I think 30 years his junior. They married in LA, the second man on the moon, and I'm sure after these celebrations that they're over the moon. That's it, I'm never getting invited back on there.
That's it, now you're finished. Now you're finished.
Yeah, I can't believe, 93, I mean, he looks a lot younger.
Oh, he looks great, I think.
She looks great
Can
as
we
well.
hold this up to the camera just
Yeah.
so we can...
She
So
looks
she's 60.
63, but she does not
was
look...
in her 30s.
Neither of them look their
Put up
age.
number... Yeah, that's it. You can see them there.
So, fair play.
They're both looking good.
Yeah, they both look great. I hope I look like that when I'm that age, if I make it that far.
And he's the
Well,
only living member
Yeah.
of the original three. But still here with us and
Yeah.
very much living life.
Long may it continue.
Well,
Let's hope they cut their wedding cake safely.
wipe the knife in between each one.
Each slice. Yeah, exactly. Sean, Emma, brilliant to have you on.
Thank you.
so much.
Very much indeed. Dear me, I've never wiped a knife in between slices in my life. I ain't started now. I don't care what you say,
Maybe
Mr.
we should,
Sainsbury.
but maybe we should try. Maybe we're missing out on something. It does get a bit crumbly.
So,
I might give it a go, test it
Give
out.
over.
Maybe Mr. Sainsbury's or Mrs. Sainsbury's is onto something.
I doubt it.
No. Okay.
Doubt it.
Let us know what you think.
You've got a perfect way of slicing it. Do you own a cake slice? I don't actually own a cake slice.
No, that is fancy.
Maybe I need to get one.
Yeah, you should.
Everyone always had a cake slice back in the day. GBVs at gbnews.uk.